Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Learn C Sharp along with Selenium. In the last class, we learned how to use one-time setup and one-time teardown to write the Selenium script. And also we saw how we can use test annotations to run a Selenium script. Today, we will learn how we can customize the one-time setup and one-time teardown using or creating a base page, a Selenium base page. Basically, what we'll be doing is this is a test class, and it's always good practice to stick to only tests in the test class. And you see here test fixture. So this is test class, and all the initialization and closing of drivers should always be handled in a different page. So what I will do is today we will create a base page, and we will move all the setup and tear down to base page, and we will extend our test class will extend the base page, and you will see how we can reduce the initialization code in the test file. So let's get started with it. So as you can see, we have one-time setup and one-time tear down. So to move this to a base page, let's create simple base page.c# file. So I'll create a base page.cs. So this will be a base page to run the tests. So for convenience purpose, what I will do is I'll just copy my entire test code to base page, and I will delete the relevant bit, which is basically I will delete everything so that we'll get a clear idea what we will be doing. So let's delete this and delete this. So let's rename our class as base page. Okay, so our namespace is auto demo, so let's leave that as is. Our base page is now is an empty base page. So if you see our test class, the initialization components are declaring IWA driver, setup, and teardown. So what we will do is we will first move this bit to base page. That means we are declaring IW here, and then I will also copy the one-time setup into our base page. Okay, so that's been copied. To be clear, I will rename the setup as initializing the method. That means if you see here, let's rename this as initialize, and so yeah, so I will remove this one because this is a test part. So what we're trying to do is basically we are moving these setup method and tear down method to our base page. So we have copied the setup method. Similarly, we'll also copy the tear down. So I'll just copy this one to our base page. Yeah, so we got initialize and tear down. Let's follow the standards. Now, since we have moved this, what I will do is I will just get rid of this code, and also get rid of the tear down code. Remember, we still need one-time setup. Only thing, we are moving the code to a base page rather than the entire methods. So we still call it a setup and tear down. So if you see the base page, so we have now two methods. One is public void initialize and public void tear down. Public void tear down. Okay. So now we have a base page, and we have also our test file. To use the features of the base page, you have to use, you must extend this class in your test. That's when you can access the methods from here. So that's an object-oriented concept. That is, you are inheriting the class, the parent class. So let's do that. Let's extend our class, which is base page. Yeah, here we go. Now, since we moved this initialization to a base pose, I have to remove this code as well. Right. Okay. So let's go to base page. So just to reiterate, we have moved the IW initialization here, the declaration. We also created a initialize method, and we also copied, removed the code of initialization, like opening the browser and opening a new instance of driver browser, and hitting the yahoo.co.uk. We also created one more method, which is called teardown, in which we close the browser. So let's access these methods in our class file, in our test file. We have setup method here. So let's call the method, which we call initialize. Should be able to access it. Yeah, there you go. Semicolon. So now, if you see our setup method, it only calls one method, which is initialize. That means for a user, whoever reads this test, it will clearly say that here there is initialization part happening. So similarly in the teardown, there we have already a teardown. So let's rename this method to something different, like close driver. So the teardown method from the base page is called teardown itself. So let's type here teardown. Okay, so now we call teardown. We still use one-time setup and one-time teardown. So if you see here in setup, we are calling initialize, and in teardown, we are in close driver method, we are calling teardown. Both are from the base page. So now let's run the test for convenience. What I will do is I will remove the unwanted tests, which are these two. Let's keep only one test because we want to demo the how to initialize driver as well as close the driver to a base page, because they are not essentially a test activities, but they are essentially a test setup activities. So that is the reason behind creating a base page and move all the setup activities to this base page. So like I said, once we created a base page, we extend that class base page, and since we extended, we can access initialize as well as teardown methods. I will also remove the order. Let's keep it only test. So in the test, all we are doing is we're getting the title, and we are asserting the title. So for our convenience, I will just make an invalid title so that test will fail, and at least we know that test has been executed. So now it's all done. If you see the test, all you see is just a test, a method which is annotated with the test, and there are some test steps, and also an initialize and teardown. And the test initialization setup all will be taken care by this new class file called BasePage, where we're initializing the driver as well as we have declared the driver, and also we are initializing a new driver instance using Chrome browser. And at the end of the test, we are closing teardown, which will close the browser as well as the instance. So let's run the test. So to run the test, all I have to do is just click run test and see. Okay, here we go. So I hope the test has started running now. Okay, so we got error. Yeah, no, I think now you'll see the browser. There you go. So the test has opening the browser and yahoo.co.uk, and that's it. The test done. So the good news is the test has been executed, and you see the test has failed, saying that titles doesn't match, which is the expected one, because I purposely failed it to make sure that we reach the test. So like as per this demo, you see it has first went to the initialize method, where it in the initialize it will go to a base page first. That's because we are using a base page. And now if you see the base page, we are calling the new driver instance here. Similarly, once a base page has been done, it's initialized, it will come to this step and it will get the title, and in the teardown it will close the browser. So like we said, it has closed the browser, but since title doesn't match, it has failed the test. So let's copy test, not the test, the correct title, and make it valid so that our test will pass. So now hopefully the test will pass now. So I will run the test again. Right. So now it should open the browser and it will go to the yahoo.co.uk and it will compare the test now. Okay, the browser has opened. Now it will go to the Yahoo website and then it will close the browser. Like we said, the test is passed now, and it's a standard output message we are printing, and like I said, it has passed. So the main thing to learn or to note here is we have moved all the setup activities to BasePage, which is our new class file, which will handle the initialization as well as closing of the driver instance. That's the main intention of this tutorial, that whenever you write your Selenium script, in your test file, make sure you use the test annotations only, and handle all the initialization bits in a separate page, which people generally call as a base page or base class or anything you'd like to call. I'll just use a base page as a generic, which will do the basic setup of the Selenium activities. So here you can have any code which you are generally do a test commonly used functions. That's the purpose of the base page, to set up, to keep things ready for the test to carry out. So, and also make sure when you create a base page, make sure your test file extends that base page. That's it. I hope you like the video, and if you have any comments, feel free to put your questions in the comments. Thank you for watching the video.